Coming up, an inside look at the GOP debate and its role on campus.
And big changes are being made to Furman's world-renowned landscape.
These stories and more coming up on the Nightly News.
The following program is produced by students in the Department of Communication Studies at Furman University.
I'm Kendall Hawthorne.
And I'm Amy Poon, here to give you this week's Nightly News. South Carolina just finished primary voting, and the presidential candidates recently visited the upstate. Jake Krause reports on what this means for the Furman community.
It's primary season in South Carolina, and the attention on the state is bringing presidential candidates, politicians, and election experts to the Greenville area. Before the candidates arrived, Furman brought in political polling expert Peter Hart to speak with students about the political climate in America. He also conducted a number of focus groups on campus and at the YFF News Studio in Greenville to gauge sentiments about the presidential candidates, key issues in this election cycle, and the future of America. Professors at Furman also involved themselves in the political conversation surrounding the state, holding lectures and CLPs on the presidential race in the past few weeks. The discussion in Greenville reached its peak when the candidates faced off in a debate held at the Peace Center Saturday, February 13th. The debate was broadcast nationally by CBS. I'm here in the spin room of the GOP debate, where the debaters will come back after the GOP debate and talk about the issues that South Carolinians really want to hear off stage. Furman students were active in the debate. 8 served as runners for the event, making sure that all pre-debate necessities were met.
I learned a lot about just how the whole debate process works. Like, I didn't know all of what went into the debate before I was actually a runner, but there's actually a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I just didn't know about.
Some Paladins even traveled outside of Greenville to see candidates. A small group of students woke up at 6 a.m. on a school day to see Bernie Sanders speak in Columbia, South Carolina. During his speech, he told college students to get involved in politics, something Furman students hear loud and clear. This is Jake Krause reporting for the Nightly News.
The food in the dining hall is thankfully improving. Catering to various dietary trends over the last few years has led to a greater variety and more healthy selection of food. Students, particularly seniors, are happy with these changes. Matsuri Ogawa reports.
The DH is a place where everyone's nightmare comes true, the Freshman 15. Between the famous DH cookies and daily pizza offerings, the DH has not always promoted healthy eating. For many seniors, the DH has improved tremendously since their freshman year. One popular new addition is the Dining for Life station.
And that's a station that always features a made without gluten recipe. Typically it's a hot protein, starch, and veggie. We have a cold pre-made salad that's gluten-free, and even a deli separate for that for those that are allergic to gluten.
Because of the dining staff's commitment to improving food quality, students have noticed a major difference in the food selection.
I have a greater selection. I feel like they're getting a lot more healthier foods, which I appreciate all the time.
Students now look forward to meals at the DH.
Quesadilla Thursday.
Quesadilla Thursday.
I love Quesadilla Thursday. Can't miss quesadilla.
Students also enjoy events such as midnight breakfast, Mardi Gras, and Thanksgiving dinner. The next fun dining event at the DH is Spring Fling on March 4th. This is Matsuri Ogawa reporting for the Nightly News.
Furman's campus has seen a lot of new changes. Students and faculty have started to take notice. Connor Chatterton reports.
Furman's campus is recognized for its beauty around the country, and the trees are a major reason why. However, there have been some major landscaping changes in the past few months that have caused some of these trees to be replaced.
They've been here since this campus was landscaped, which would be around 1960. So that means that they're over 50 years old, getting towards 60 years old. And it's a fast-growing but pretty short-lived tree. So they really are getting about to the end of their lifetime. They have shallow roots, and they often get hollow in the trunk and start to get unhealthy by this time.
Students around campus have differing opinions on the new look. Some don't seem to like the changes, but others have a positive attitude on the future look of the campus.
Well, you know, having these small trees may put us down in the rankings for most beautiful campus, but once they grow up and they're strong, healthy trees, I think we'll be back to #1. And I think it was the right call on with Furman.
The new plans for campus will give Furman a slightly different look, maybe even boosting Furman's ranking on the list for most beautiful schools and attracting more visitors and prospective students.
That one has sort of a rounded crown, and they thought that would look good in front of the library and essentially sort of almost create a tunnel effect over the fountains there eventually. I may never see that. Maybe when you come back as an alumnus, you will.
With plans to tear down more trees on campus, Furman goers will be noticing a lot more changes in the years to come. With the Nightly News, I'm Connor Chatterton.
Coming up in sports, the men's basketball team is hopeful going into the SoCon tournament.
And the men's lacrosse team is still optimistic after a tough loss to Lehigh. Here's Mallory Fitzgerald and Paige Gamble with these stories and more in our sports segment.
Thanks, Amy. Furman men's basketball is preparing to enter the Southern Conference tournament.
Samantha Eccles reports.
The Furman men's basketball team is looking forward to advancing to the Southern Conference tournament as the #2 seed.
Our biggest competition going into the tournament is Chattanooga, because we lost them at their place and we've kind of developed a rivalry, but we try to focus on one game at a time and moving forward.
The men's team has had a very impressive season thus far, winning 11 out of 15 conference games. They are hoping to win the tournament after coming in second against Wofford in last season's SoCon championship. The team has been working hard, focusing on playing their game and not letting anyone else get into their heads.
We've tied for the most wins at home in school history, and we've went undefeated at home in conference play. It's been fun watching the fans and the students come back and cheer us on. And so we're in a great position here down the stretch. Obviously, we've still got 3 games left in the conference tournament. So now is maybe the most critical time, but so far the season's been a lot of fun. At the end of the day, the biggest competition is ourselves, right? And I think a lot of other teams would say the same thing. And we're one of the teams, I think, that has a chance to have a lot of success in the conference tournament. So the most important thing is to be playing at your best when you go into the tournament.
The men's basketball team plays here at Paladin Stadium next Saturday at 4 p.m. as they take on the Mercer Bears. This is Samantha Eccles signing off for the Nightly News.
We are wishing the Dins lots of luck in their upcoming tournament.
The men's lacrosse team took an upsetting defeat against Lehigh this Saturday, but have high hopes for the rest of the season. Molly Marshall reports.
The Furman men's lacrosse team is entering their 3rd season and are more confident than ever. With only losing 4 seniors and gaining around 20 freshmen, they are ready to take on their opponents.
I think our expectations for the season is to have a good season, and we define that by, probably making our conference tournament, winning at least 6 games, and then advancing in our conference tournament, maybe winning our league championship. That's what we've been shooting for the last couple of years. So we're going to have to do very well to be able to do that.
The boys may have lost their first 3 games, but they are not giving up. They are looking forward to conference play, and as the season goes on, the chemistry will continue to build between the players, allowing them to become a more unified team.
I mean, our mentality every game is to win. Put our heart on the field, leave everything on the field. We're all exhausted right now because we tried that and it just didn't come out in our favor. We got 10 games left to go 10-0. That was the hardest part of the schedule. The first 3 games, they're all top 20 teams. But we've got Mount coming up in 2 weeks, and then Penn State. So we've got a good schedule coming up. It'll be fun.
The Furman men's lacrosse team took a tough loss today against Lehigh, but they're feeling hopeful for the rest of the season.
This is Molly Marshall reporting for the Nightly News.
The men's next game is March 5th at Mount St. Mary's.
Furman University's equestrian team is gaining recognition. Their competition at Clemson University proved that they are a force to be reckoned with. Hannah Catherine Smith reports.
The Furman University equestrian team competed on Saturday at the T. Ed Garrison Arena in Clemson University.
Has anybody placed in first place yet?
Yes, the president of our team, Rachel Keith, just won her jumping class, her over fences class.
What exhibitions will you be doing today?
I just completed my flat class, and then I'll be doing my jumping class later this afternoon. It's definitely a bit more challenging, but it's something I really love to do.
The Furman women competed in flats and jumps, winning several classes against other South Carolina universities.
Who all is competing today?
We have about 7 teams competing. We have College Charleston, Georgia Southern University, University of South Carolina, Clemson University, Furman, Wofford, and a few other schools.
Here at the IHSA Intercollegiate Horse Show, Furman University is making Greenville proud. I'm Hannah Catherine Smith, reporting for the Nightly News.
Furman students are familiar with the current athletic teams on campus. However, in the last few decades, budget cuts and a lack of local competition have led to many sports being forced off campus, causing unhappy alumni and confusion among students. Meredith Behrens reports.
Over the past 30 years, Furman has seen many sports teams come and go. Most students don't even know Furman once had very successful varsity swimming and wrestling teams on campus.
I ended up being the varsity head coach of the Furman wrestling team, and we started with 5 guys. Now you need 10 guys to make a full team, so every match we entered that year, we basically forfeited half the matches, just by begging guys to come out and talking guys into it. We actually won 5 matches that first year I was actually the full-time head coach.
Like the wrestling team, the Furman swim team enjoyed many years as a varsity sport, but was also controversially cut in the early 90s.
There's been a lot of speculation as to why sports like swimming and wrestling have left Furman's campus, such as Title IX, lack of alumni support, and loss of funding.
I think what was most surprising to me was that such a well-known national program didn't have the funding to stay on campus. But I think what was lucky for the golf team was they had so many successful alumni and such a successful alumni program that was able to help fund them. And I think they were lucky in that respect, whereas some of the other teams on campus haven't been as lucky.
You know, there's an alumni base, and those are the people that are going to be your future donors. Luckily with golf, there was enough of an outcry, and there were enough influential alumni who played golf, who basically reversed the decision and made that abundantly clear to the administration that, you know, you're losing a lot of money.
It is clear throughout the years, sports have made a big impact on the students, alumni, and faculty here at Furman. This is Meredith Behrens reporting for the Nightly News.
That's it for our sports segment.
Back to you, Kendall.
Greenville's West Village has undergone impactful changes. The community welcomes the neighborhood development and encourages commuters to come experience their new town. Olivia Johnson reports.
The West Village has made drastic changes to their neighborhood. This new development has taken a once unloved and uncared for community and transformed it into a thriving and prospering getaway for people all around Greenville.
We're taking areas that are so fundamental to the history and importance of Greenville and working to make them the best that they can be and revitalizing them.
This art studio is one of the many new recent additions to the village, and community members have a positive outlook on the new developments.
I think it's good. It's a good turnaround for everybody that stays around here and for those that want to come visit it.
The Village Grind is a hot spot amongst community members and commuters alike. The shop boasts organic products and coffee beans imported directly from Ethiopia. They have homemade baked goods and an artisan pour-over coffee maker, which brings in people from all over Greenville.
never even knew this area existed until I found this coffee shop, so that's the only reason why I come down here.
Walking around the village, you can see new storefronts popping up all around, including this soon-to-be breakfast joint.
But the main goal of the West Village is for the residential and the business to work together to preserve the history and preserve the integrity while bringing everybody together in an artful, cultural way where everyone can sort of coexist peacefully and mutually benefit each other.
The graffiti within Dorothy's office seamlessly portrays the coming together of old with the new that has distinguished the West Village as such a unique place.
I'm live at Greenville's West Village, where a once underdeveloped neighborhood is now a modern sensation. People commute from all over just to taste the coffee at the local coffee shop, The Village Grind. Come see the development for yourself, and you'll never feel more at home. This is Olivia Johnson reporting live for the Nightly News.
That concludes our news for you this week.
Join us next week on Channel 20 or catch us on YouTube.